Celebrated.
Magical.
Comforting.
Joy and light and love.
Love.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.
It was like a nice warm hug.
Every life deserves to be celebrated, and every baby deserves to be celebrated, and every family deserves to hear congratulations.
I'm sorry.
He'll probably never drive.
Are you prepared to have a child for the rest of your life?
So sad.
He'll probably never get married.
Why would you choose to do this?
That must be so hard.
Fear and worry.
You guys are saints for taking this on.
This is why they do 12-week screening, so you have the option to terminate.
We're the Rondeau family from Calgary, Alberta, and our son is Jace.
We received the diagnosis about 12 hours after Jace was born.
It kind of was presented in a couple different ways. First, a nurse thought she noticed something was off a little bit, or not normal, I guess, the low muscle tone and the eyes. And so they called the pediatrician in.
And that's when he told us that he was sorry, but our son had Down syndrome, not congratulations on your baby boy. He also has Down syndrome. It was presented as bad news.
Yeah, that's all your artwork. What's this one? Is that Dad's?
It was rough because we were already really scared of the unknown, scared of something we had no idea about. And then he told us in the same breath that he may never drive a car. It was tough. It was tough. Mm-hmm. It's actually one of my biggest regrets is the couple hours I spent mourning the loss of a child that I never had. And it breaks my heart now because Down syndrome's not scary. It's wonderful. It's what I'd expect any other child would be.
We're the Graham family.
And our sons are Jackson and Nico.
I would say almost everybody had something to say that wasn't the most positive, but
I agree. Like when we would first tell people we want to adopt a child with Down syndrome, the initial reaction was, why would you do that?
yeah.
And it was a negative why.
Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, that's awesome, good for you. It was like,
Yeah.
are you sure you want to take that on? Why would you do that? And we're like, this is why we're doing it. Your response is exactly why we're doing it. And then when we chose to do it a second time, I think we still
Totally.
had...
No, I feel like it was totally
yeah, from like our family. We still
Yeah.
had some people that were like, man, you guys have been through so much with Jackson. Like, are you ready to do that again? And we're like, yeah, because it was fine. We made it through it, so why wouldn't I do it again? Right?
But our families were super supportive the second time.
Yes,
around.
yeah, absolutely.
We had just been moved from I don't know if you've ever been in a NICU, but it's like literally like just open hallways with babies. And we had just been moved from there to a room, which was so nice. And we walked in and the basket was there. And for the first time since we had the diagnosis, it just felt like somebody was like, it's gonna be okay. It's not scary. This is scary now because you're in the NICU and you know, it's your baby and you just want to go home, but it's gonna be okay.
So we received the basket after we got home from Jackson's heart surgery. So he was already 3 months old. Mm-hmm. And we honestly had no idea. We weren't connected yet with the Down syndrome community. And honestly, the basket, it brought us into a whole different world, didn't it?
Yeah, I think we knew a small portion of the community, but we didn't realize how big it was.
My name is Krista Rowland Collins, and I started Adele's Over the Rainbow Baskets. My little girl, Adele, has Down syndrome. After she was born, she was just a few months old, and that's when we came up with the idea to start the baskets. I started the baskets because I realized that families weren't being told congratulations after their baby was born and after a postnatal diagnosis was given. One of the families received a basket. She was called 7 times by medical professionals and encouraged to terminate. 7. And every time she said, "Please don't call me anymore. We are not going to terminate." And it seems to be the norm with a lot of the baskets that I have delivered. Families were encouraged to terminate. So I wanted to make sure that these families heard congratulations after their babies were born. We opted for non-invasive testing. And the second I walked in, I just started crying. I was just so overwhelmed with emotions, and we were going to figure out and find out that day if baby had Down syndrome or not. It was greater than 99% when it came back, and we all cried. My OB cried, James cried, I cried. I think the tears came from fear of the unknown. And then we found out at the 18-week ultrasound that we were having another girl. She was bouncing all around, and her arms were flailing, and she was kicking her legs. The doctor came in to talk to us, and he said, "She looks perfect." But it was like a weight was lifted that day. It was a sense of joy and a sense of comfort. And a doctor used the word perfect to describe our child with Down syndrome. The baskets embody comfort and support and joy and love.
They work so hard for everything, so celebrate everything.
Our community, all of the kids that we're raising are gonna grow up to be these amazing adults that just blow down barriers.
He's just a little ray of light.
She has brought the most incredible people into our lives.
If everyone else in the world was just like a person with Down syndrome, our world would be a significantly better place.
Like, he's just thriving.
It's not about the gifts in that basket. It really isn't. But it's that time that we take to sit down with these families and to answer questions that is key, and it's so important.
Give him a kiss.
Let's work this out together.
Hey, forget the diagnosis. Congratulations, you had a baby.
Just embrace it.
You don't have to do this on your own.
Think about the moments that are right in front of you.
Right, we're here for you. It's a community.
I get it. I get how you feel. I get where you're at.
One day at a time, it's not scary.